Hello and welcome to another episode of DraftGym TV. As always, you are joined by me, Andy, FPL Teach Mode, and today we are going to be talking about the rules and details of the game. Now, the last one we did was all about how to enter your team. Now, I would say just as important as entering the team is making sure you know the rules for the games that you are going to be playing, because let's be honest, if you don't know the rules, you're very, very unlikely to win. We had this in the Euros where people didn't read the rules properly and they actually didn't cash in the end because they didn't realise they couldn't make any transfers in the last game week. So it's really, really important to win, to do well with the rules. If you do and you know what the rules are, you will always have an upper hand on other people. Sometimes there is a little bit of a arrogance of knowledge when people come over from FPL because they think they already know everything there is to know, and that definitely isn't the case with FanTeam. So let's have a little bit of a look. Now remember as well, if you're thinking about rules, thinking about ways of playing, thinking about details of the game, DraftGym.com, absolutely incredible stuff coming out of them, so make sure you go and have a look. Also, and I forgot to say this on the last one, like and subscribe to the video, guys. It really, really helps. So if we click on games and we go down to our season-long contest, £1 million prize pool. We've already spoken about this. It's amazing. Now, everything below this line here, we've already spoken about. We've spoken about how to make your team. We've spoken about how to enter it, and they're looking good, hopefully, by now. Up here, though, are some of the interesting things. We've got the details of the actual tournament that we're getting into. So it's got the overview, when it starts, when it ends, both very, very important. How many entrants are there? Now, for me, that is really important because it always tells you how many people will be paid. If there are less people entering that, then they will give out prize money. Then you've got an overlay. That's amazing. If they don't and it's over, then you know what kind of percentage you need to be in. So it's always worth looking at that. Tells you the prize pool. Look at all those zeros. Amazing. And then it also tells you the buy-in as well. Also, these little details, they will tell you about too. So this one is that it's got a late registration format. This one is that it's a network tournament. It's available to everybody. And this one here means you get 2 wildcards during this tournament as well. Now the fixtures, obviously there are 38 lots of fixtures to go through too. And then entries, it tells you who is involved. Prizes, look at that. Lovely stuff. Rank 1, 200 grand. Yes, please. I always think this is worth looking at to see what's the lowest you could finish to get some money back. And here, as long as you finish top 5,000, you're getting £40 back. So you're getting £20. You're getting double what you put in, which is quite nice. Now, really important, the rules. I'm going to talk through these just to make sure that I don't miss anything. This tournament is played over multiple game weeks. We knew that already. Standard fantasy scoring applies in this tournament. So that is the scoring that are used for every single competition they do. And we will be talking about that in a minute. You can own a maximum of 3 players from one team. So I know there are some fantasy formats out there that let you own any amount of players from a team. Some only let you manage 4. Some let you have 3. This lets you only have 3. So make sure that you do only have 3. I mean, I think most of us wouldn't be wanting more than that anyway. A maximum of 100 team entries is allowed per user. So you cannot have more than 100. If you're laughing at that idea, there will be some that try, believe me. Most of us will be having 1 or 2. I think I'm going to be on around 6 to 8. But yeah, there will be people with trying to get over 100, but they can't, unfortunately. You must choose a team captain. Your captain gets times 2 points. We covered that in the last video. You must choose a vice captain. If your vice captain will score 2 times points if your captain doesn't play. Really, really important. Always put your vice captain on somebody you think could still play the game, because if your captain doesn't play, you don't want it to be on somebody that isn't going to play. You can make 1 free transfer per game week. Additional transfers will cost -4 each. Really important. I am not one for taking hits, because that -4, that player needs to do something in that game to justify it. It can be a little bit different in FanTeam because there's more opportunities for points, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you're probably only using that 1 free transfer. You can carry forward a maximum of 1 free transfer to a later game week. So if you don't use your transfer 1 week, you carry forward and you can use 2 the next week for free, but you cannot carry that forward again. So you won't get 3 the next week. It just caps it 2. You must own 3 outfield substitutes bench players. So you must make sure that you've got a solid bench, basically, including 1 goalkeeper, which is the next rule there. There are 2 wildcards available in this contest. Use those wisely. It means you can completely change your team. You have a budget of 100 million to build your squad. And if 2 teams are tied in a daily game, the team with the most funds remaining wins. Now, this isn't a daily game. So if 2 teams are tied in a season game, which is what this is, they will share the placement. So if you are on to finish first and it's 200 grand and somebody else is going to, you'll both get 100 grand. So you won't both get 200, I'm afraid. You can register to this tournament for a certain period even after the original deadline has passed. I believe you get 95% of the average if you register late. Now, really, really important, by the way, and I was going to mention this, the budget of 100 million does change, so there are price changes in this. So when you wildcard, you might be wildcarding with more of a budget, so it's worth looking out for that. Now, scoring is the next thing I wanted to talk about. Now, scoring is slightly different to FPL, and this is something that throws people off when they first come into it. So if a player plays up to 60 minutes, they get a point. If they play over 60 minutes, they get another point. So that's their 2 points. Midfielders or attacking players playing the full match gets an extra point. Okay, so all of a sudden you're looking at it thinking, okay, so if my midfielder or attacker play the whole game, they get an extra point on top of that. If a goalkeeper scores a goal, I know what you're thinking, goalkeepers don't score goals. Alisson scored a goal last year, so if a goalkeeper scores a goal, they get 8 points. Defender scoring a goal, 6 points. Midfielders 5, forwards 4. Pretty standard there. Goalkeeper or defender clean sheet is 4 points. So straight away you're looking at that and thinking defenders can get you those 6 points quite nicely. Midfielder clean sheet for 60 minutes is 1 point. You can already see here how these points are stacking up. If a keeper or defender concedes 2 goals, they get an extra point taken off them. So that's not very good, obviously. Assist or a fantasy assist is 3 points. Those are usually checked by Optus, so they're pretty good with a fantasy assist, to be honest. If they score an own goal, it's -2. Penalty miss, -2. If a goalkeeper makes a save, they get 0.5 points. That is big for me. Genuinely, that is big. If you've got a keeper such as Martinez, who makes plenty of saves, gets plenty of clean sheets, and he plays every game, straight away you're looking at it. I think, what was the game a couple years ago where De Gea against Arsenal made something like 10 saves in the game? That's 5 points. 5 points, and then the clean sheet, and then the playing points. All of a sudden, he's getting a haul for not doing anything apart from making saves. Really important to say there's no bonus points in this game. Really, really important. So this is why they're racking up these points here. If a goalkeeper saves a penalty, it does happen, you get 5 points. Yellow card is -1, red card -1. Scoring a free kick, scoring a free kick caused -2 points. Caused a penalty is -2 points. So basically, if your defender or midfielder concede a penalty or a free kick and then it is scored against them, then it's -2 points. If the team wins in the period they're on the pitch, so basically these are like win bonuses for your players. So you're going to want to have players that do win games. They get plus 0.3 points. It used to be 1, and they've taken that away now and they've made it into plus 0.3, which I think is fine. If your team loses in the period on the pitch, it's -3, so a -0.3. So it is important to have players on there that you think are going to win games. If you get a shot on goal by your goalkeeper, you get 1 point. If you get a shot on goal by your defender, you get 0.6 points. And if you get a shot on goal by a midfielder or forward, you get 0.4. These are massive changes to the rules that they made last year. You need to have players in your team that are going to take shots. Salah, Bruno, Trent Alexander-Arnold, these players that are going to be racking up more points for you just for taking shots. They don't need to be goals, they just need to be shots on target. Now, if you think about it like that in terms of captaincy, that means you are having a pretty safe floor for these players that are going to be taking shots on target. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I've spoken about this so much in the pre-season. Trent takes an average of 2 shots a game. If he's taking 2 shots a game, even if one of those is on target, all of a sudden, he's getting an extra 0.6 points compared to everybody else. His floor is going to be so much higher than everybody. I love him in FanTeam. He's brilliant. So those are the scoring system, and I think it's really important to make sure you nail down that. And then the prize pool, I know we've already covered a little bit already, but it's just worth looking at it again, isn't it? Prize place is 5,000. Team in tournament over 5,000 now, but 200 grand to the winner. I mean, imagine. So that is what I wanted to talk about in this one. It is really important to nail down the rules. Make yourself a team, look at the rules, and just think about how it could play out as the season goes, because it is so important. It is imperative to make sure you know how the rules work. Right. Thank you very much for joining us again this week, and I hope to be seeing you soon. Make sure you nail down those rules, and remember, check out DraftGym.com. Make sure you like and subscribe, and chuck us over some drafts, and we will definitely look at them for you. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Oi, oi.